Howdy folks, it's Adriel, the hunting gear guy. Today I wanted to show you guys the Safariland GLS. This is their grip lock holster, which means it's got this little button down here that you grab with your hand as you're pulling your pistol out. So this is an active retention holster. It's pretty neat. One thing that this doesn't come with, and I just can't be bothered to take off, is this GLS fork mount system. And the reason I have it on here is I shoot 3-gun, and pulling your pistol off in a hurry is kind of nice if you need to go to the bathroom or just get the weight off your hips. So that does make this holster a little bit more bulky because it adds about a ½ inch to the middle here. If you're shooting IPSC, you might not want to do that. If you're shooting 3-gun, you do because it's just more convenient. So why don't we get into this thing? There's a couple different versions of this holster. This is the 579, which is the longer style one. And the nice thing there is that if you've got a Shadow 2 to pop in this thing, it covers the whole thing front to bottom. So that is nice on this holster. They make a shorter one where this will have the muzzle poking out, and that's not what I wanted. So primarily I got this thing to use with my Shadow 2. One of the problems in 3-gun is that the Shadow 2s are a heavy gun. This is a heavy pistol. We're running around typically in 3-gun, sometimes with a rifle or shotgun in our hand, and sometimes we've got the pistol holstered. And if it's holstered and you're running a blade tech or something without active retention, every once in a while you knock it out and you get DQ'd, and that's no fun. So that's why I've got this thing. Now, the reason why this is better than a blade tech for 3-gun is the pistol can't come out. It's locked in there so well. Yet it has a very easy to defeat mechanism. I showed a video comparing this holster to the GLS ALS from Safariland that has a thumb drive on it, and that thumb drive is a little bit hard to grab onto. This guy here, I don't even really think about it. I just kind of grab the pistol and it comes out, and that's not like with hours and hours of training or anything like that. It just works. It's just very easy to hit that guy as you come in and grab your pistol, and you can see there, I didn't really have to adjust my grip. I just snatch it, right? And it's very easy to come out, and I've never, I record all my matches. I've never caught myself grabbing this thing and pulling and being like, oh yeah, I got to press it. Whereas with the ALS I actually had to grab onto that thumb, whereas this one just comes out very easily. So that's one cool thing. This retention mechanism on here is very good, very easy to use, and you don't really have to think about it. The other thing that's nice about this holster is that they're $50. So they're not a super expensive holster, yet they've got this really nice retention thing that's really good for 3-gun. So that's interesting as well. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is the fact this holster works for pretty much everything out there. So you saw me just using my Shadow 2. Now, albeit this is a tight fit in here because it's got such a big dust cover on here. It actually indexes right there, and that's where the adjustment piece is. So if you need to, that shelf there pushes up against the bottom of the dust cover to kind of tighten the whole thing up, and you can adjust it using an Allen key on the bottom. All right, now what if you don't have a Shadow and instead you have a Glock? Well, Glocks have quite a bit of a wider trigger guard there. So what you'll need to do, like right inside here, there's this little bumper thingamabobber that acts against the trigger guard on the Shadow. And when you take it out, you can take your Glock and jam it in there instead. And it locks. So I'm going to need to tighten that one down. Let's just tighten down the Glock here. Too tight. There we go. And our Glock 17 works in there as well. And this works great with the Glock 34. This is again the long one. You can see with the Glock 17 we have quite a bit of room towards the front here. And the nice thing is that it works great actually with the Glocks because they've got that nice chunky trigger guard on them, and they're a quite blocky gun, right? So they're quite easy to do a holster for. So this is not going to fall out of this holster, and yet it's still very easy to grab onto. So that's the Glock. If I want to go back to the Shadow, I just gotta take this little plastic doohickey here, try to figure out where I'm at. That way? That way? Yes, that way. And get that in there, which is a lot easier than you think it would be. You can take it apart and pull these screws off and kind of open the thing up and filet-o-fish it, but you don't really need to. If you can kind of go by feel, you can get that in there. Now that block is in there, the block won't fit because the trigger guard's too big with that block in there. So again, that was the Safariland GLS, or grip lock system. Fantastic holster. I wish I had ordered this holster a long time ago. I've got a whole whack of holsters that are specific to guns I don't even have anymore. And they're okay. Like they're fine. They didn't have like active retention or anything like that. And I don't think a lot of them really needed it. But again, for 3-gun, a pistol coming out of a holster is a cause for disqualification. So it's really nice to have a holster where that's not going to happen. This pistol's not going to come out of here. And yet it's very easy to just snatch it right on out of there. It's very easy to hit that button on your way in and just grab the pistol out of the holster. And yet run around and do all the crazy things we do in 3-gun and not have to worry about the gun coming out. So fantastic holster. For around $50, it's really hard to beat. So if you're looking for a low-cost option, check this out. If you're looking for a high-cost option, Double Alpha has their Alpha X, which kind of works on the same principle, but is a lot nicer and a lot nicer of a holster, but is 5 times more expensive. I don't know, a lot more expensive. So if you're looking for something basic and cheap, check out the Safariland GLS holster. Thanks for watching.